Street Festival with Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina, Saturday, May 3rd, beginning at 1 p.m. at 8th and Q in the Haymarket.
This is it, Husker fans, your final chance to see Nebraska baseball at home this season. It starts Tuesday, May 6th with a huge rivalry matchup against Creighton. Then it's a Big Ten showdown as the Huskers host Michigan May 9th through 11th. Every game matters and your support can make the difference. Great seats are still available, but they're going fast. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/tickets or by calling 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Electrical Enterprises in Roca reminds you the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. Their commitment and courage keep our country safe and strong. Let's honor those who have lost their lives in the line of duty and salute those who serve today. This from Electrical Enterprises in Roca. For all your residential and commercial electrical construction needs, call 402-438-5822. They're on the air reminding everyone that we live in the land of the free thanks to the brave.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Hey, it's your girl Jordan from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. It's official. Wedding season is here, and we know that every detail counts. From bridal party gifts to the finishing touches for the bride and groom, discover our exclusive selection of watches and fine jewelry. Did you know we even offer in-house engraving? Celebrate your special day with a personal touch and a timeless gift they'll cherish forever. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, where your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Chancellor Brewington, powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, welcome in to What's Brewing here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Jackson Kleinschmidt here in our 93.7 The Ticket studios, 1040 O Street. But don't worry, I have your host as always calling in today for today's episode, Chancellor Brewington, former Nebraska tight end. Chancellor, how are you doing today?
I'm great, bro. I'm having a great Saturday. Had a great week. A lot. I wasn't on the show last week, so there's a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
A lot has happened in the sports world. A lot has happened. You know, some like personal insights, I guess, from my learnings and stuff like that. And I hope everyone's doing good. I hope everyone is thriving and becoming the best version of themselves. And I'm doing great, bro. Like it's amazing. It's amazing.
That's
so
great.
we can go many ways to start the show off. Let me ask you first. I don't know if I've ever asked this, Jackson. Are you a basketball fan?
Like a basketball fan?
Yeah, like, do you have a team in the playoffs right now?
Well, I not anymore. I was, born and raised right outside of Orlando, so I've always been a Magic fan. So, yeah.
Well, I was hoping for the Lakers to do something
There
in
you
this
go.
playoff series and ended it quick. But I have to say this, bro, just to get on a little NBA rant real quick. Anthony Edwards is one of my favorite basketball players to watch. I didn't, because it's like the Timberwolves, like they're not. I don't know how to describe them because like they're not like a low market team, but they also like they've had stars for the past like 4 or 5 years. Like you had, I believe, wasn't Butler there, Jimmy Butler there for some time?
Yeah, I think he was in Minnesota for 1 year. I think so.
Yeah, and then it just like I think it blew. And then he went to Sixers, or he came from Sixers, whatever the scenario was. But like they've always had like talent there for probably, I would say, like ever since they got Cat. Like they've always had talent, and of course, like back in the day with KG and stuff. But like I don't know, there's something about Ant, man. Like I didn't get to. I guess what I'm trying to say is I didn't get to watch him a lot, like throughout the years, and obviously like just the whole streaming services of NFL, NBA, and MLB games. It's just like it's so hard to catch games nowadays. Like before, you could just turn on ESPN, NBC, ABC, TNT, everything, and every game's on. But now it's like it's a little bit more difficult. But I got to see Ant like for a full series in this Laker game, and of course, like the last game, I believe he had like 18, or it wasn't anything too crazy, and still 18 points in the NBA is great. I'm not debating that, but the way he's able to move, I understand when because I didn't understand like people's like. He could play in the NFL and stuff like that, or he could play like football. And I was like, I just haven't seen the way he moves, but like he has this like burst, and it's almost like a young D Wade with more bounce and more like he's like even stronger than him though.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch, and he's developed into like a pretty good 3-point shooter, and which I feel like nowadays it's almost like every NBA 1, 2, 3, and kind of 4 has to be able to shoot a 3. Like it's before. I mean, you could play the 4 and you know have a mid range, but like now you got like Julius Randle who plays the 4 for Minnesota, and I mean sometimes he plays the 5 when Gobert's out, but like he's having to stretch the floor and shoot threes now, which I think he did a little bit when he first came into the league. But I guess what I'm saying is, man, it was awesome to see Ant, and I think he has a lot of upside, man. Like, you know, LeBron kind of alluded to that when he said after the game, man, like you need to take that next step. I thought that was interesting. Like, did you see that clip?
I did see that clip. I mean, I watched a little bit of that series. I know Ant was just playing bully ball that entire series, just locked in.
Yeah, he was playing great. It was frustrating, man. I wanted to see more comp like from Ant and Luka, because you know you kind of had that guard, but although like you know Luka's like 6'9", so it's Ant's I think like 6'5" or something. So there is like a little height. So I just wanted to see them go back and forth, and of course Luka gets the stomach ache game 2, I think, or game 1 or game 2, and then he gets the back spasm in this past game. So it was tough, but man, me and Harrison have some pretty interesting talks on the weeknight show about all of the LeBron nonsense that he can't put up with it. So it's fun, it's interesting, but I'm excited to see where the T-Wolves go. It'd be awesome if they can extend this run into at least like the conference championship. I'm not sure who they're gonna play. I think they might be playing the Nuggets. It might be the Nuggets Clippers outcome, or they might be playing OKC. I don't know who it is, but whoever it is, I hope Anthony Edwards puts on a show, man. Because you talk about like the face of the NBA, like who's it going to be, you know, because you had a spark there. I believe it was in 2017. I love this playoff series, like the whole, not playoff series, but the whole playoffs, when LeBron was like the only one on the well, not the only one, but like Kyrie left, and it was kind of just him, and it was, you had Kevin Durant, you know, Klay Thompson, Steph, Draymond, all on the Warriors. But the first, I believe it was the conference championship. Jason Tatum's a rookie, and he dunks on LeBron. And then after that, Celtics end up losing the series, but the next year and the next 2 years, you're kind of like, Jason Tatum's going to be the face of the league. He's going to overthrow LeBron. You know, like, it was just this whole big thing. But then it never, like, it was like, it's almost like, it was like always like about to peak. Like, it was about to. And then I feel like there was a chance last year for Jason Tatum to kind of like take the reins. And everyone's talked about this, is Jaylen Brown winning the finals MVP. And it kind of, legacy wise, and kind of like, from like a fan's perspective, like, it's almost like you're not the top dog on the team, so it's hard for you to be the face of NBA. So it would be awesome to see Ant, you know, because he's not going to let anyone else on that T-Wolves team either take the last shot or, you know, lead a series in scoring. Like, he's going to take the initiative every single time. And it was awesome. Like, you saw Ant playing, you know, like you kind of said, like bully ball, pushing LeBron up and down the floor. But yeah, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, the Timberwolves will play the winner of the Rockets Warriors series, which is now in Game 7, which they play that tomorrow night. So.
Oh, that would be a good one. Is it at? Do you know where it's at?
It should be in
Houston, right?
Gold State. No, I think it's in Gold State. Here, let me see. Oh, it is.
Yeah,
it is in Houston. I was wrong.
Oh, it's Houston.
Yeah, it's Houston. Yeah.
Oh, that would be a fun one. It's like, it was me and Harrison were talking about this probably like a week ago. Is like the Warriors, when Steph is hot, it's like you automatically include him in the conversation of like conference championship, winning a series, and like there's nothing you can do. And then of course, you know, Jimmy Butler, I think, is back. I think he was hurt for a game, but I think he's back now. And those two like it's so interesting, like the combos that the league has right now. Because before, like you kind of, I mean, 10, 15 years ago, it was like you had players, you know, team up a little bit, but not like now. So it's so like if you would have told me, you know, 15 years ago that, or 10 years ago, that James Harden and Kawhi and Paul George were on the same team, like, I would have tripped out and said, "Oh, they're winning the ship." Like, they are winning the ship. Or if you would have told me Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal are on the team, like, I would be like, "There's no way." Or here, get this one: Kyrie, AD, and Klay Thompson. Like, those are like, these are like, I don't know if those would be all Hall of Famers. I think so, right? Kyrie would be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
AD, and then Klay,
I'd say so.
Right?
I'd say so. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
I would check their Hall of Famers. But like, it's just the combos that we have, and like, that doesn't guarantee wins anymore. Like, before, like early, like mid 2000s, it was like, yeah, if you had a star-studded team, like, you're going to win. But now everyone is teaming up, and it's like, I think that's why you have the gaps between like 1 through 8 in the East, and like 1 through 10 or 1 through 8, like around there. And then you have like 1 through 9 in the West. And then there's like big fall offs. Like, not to be whatever, Jackson, but like the Magic.
I get that.
Teams like that, like, because there's no star power left, like, for those teams. I mean, Paul Banchero, like, they're getting there. He's gonna be a freak.
Like, when I was a kid, I used to go like pretty little, but I mean, I lived with the Dwight Howard and really just the Dwight Howard era. I remember that run to the finals against the Lakers where we got beat. But, yeah.
Y'all had a team. Y'all had it was remember Turkoglu, Rashad Lewis.
Oh yeah.
Who's Jameer Nelson?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, you guys had a squad.
That's like my childhood team. Like I remember that like a little bit, but that's like when I was a kid. That's where it was at. I used to have like my room was themed all Orlando Magic tournaments at my bedroom. Just because I love Dwight Howard and that whole Magic team when I was a kid. So
how did you feel? How did you feel when Dwight Howard went to the Lakers and won a ship? Were you happy?
I mean, at that point in his career, I was happy for him.
Yeah.
You know, he's aging. I was like, just get this man a ring. He deserves it. Because, like, I mean, he was so close to it in Orlando, and then obviously he bounced around a little bit when he left and went to it was Houston, and he's played for some other team. I think he's playing in China now, but
really,
I think so on some team out there. But yeah, I was actually happy to see him win the ring in the bubble with the Lakers. Even though some people argue that wasn't a real ring, it was a ring. It happened. So.
Thank you, Jackson.
It happened. I'm not. You can't argue it. It happened. Like whether you agree with the bubble or not. Like again, this is another like Florida thing, but like that was so cool during the time because like you could drive over to that area and it was restricted over there because it was on Disney property. They were all staying at Disney hotels, so if you drove to that area, the entire NBA was just over there. It was about 35 minutes from my house. It was just the entire NBA.
So it was like you said it was the Disney hotels?
Yeah, they had this whole system with separating them by floor, and it was very like you could barely get over there because obviously they weren't open to the public at the time because Disney was completely closed down because of COVID. But they had all of them staying at different hotels. They didn't go out that much, but I would hear people who were like, "Oh, I was near Disney property today. I saw this player, that player." During that time, so that was a cool experience. I'm actually one of those people that loved the bubble, weirdly enough, just because I know I live near it, heard about it, kind of got to see what it was like behind the scenes with them playing. I think they played in the wide world of sports over there on Disney property. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I didn't really realize like the locals during that time would probably have a cool experience.
Yeah, it's just like it was always interesting when I would watch these games, like and then the playoffs and whatnot. I was like, this is just. Obviously, you couldn't go to it, but the entire NBA playoffs was just like pretty much right down the road from me when you think about it. So it was pretty cool, the bubble and all that. And, yeah.
So who's your front runner right now for the playoffs right now on East and the West?
On the East, probably the Cavs, unless the Celtics. I'm never gonna put the Celtics out. I mean, they're the 2 seed. So, yeah, I mean, Cavs or Celtics, but I totally could see the Celtics pulling out of there. From the West is hard. The West is actually really hard. I think it very evenly could be the Wolves, the Thunder, or the Nuggets, and I would believe all three of those get into the finals. And then between those two, I would still probably give it to the East, whether it's the Cavs or the Celtics.
Really? You think the East coming away with it this year?
I think so. I don't know.
I like it. I would say I don't know. At first, I thought Golden State was going to look real promising. Like they were going to get out the Houston series and have some time to rest. Because I mean, that's the big thing about like sweeping and gentlemen sweeping teams. It's like you get rest, and that's the name of the game is recovery. So now I was thinking like an older squad like Golden State or their star players are older. That you would maybe find a way to get that done early. You push the game 7. I feel like the less games Steph plays, the better the Warriors will be. But I don't know. I think I want to say OKC coming out the West, but
I like OKC a lot. Like, yeah, I could understand that. But I don't know. I'm also one of those people that's like, don't put Jokic out. Like, even though they still have a game 7 to play tonight, but against the Clippers, but if Jokic, gets going, whatnot, I don't know. The Nuggets are a faithful team, but yeah, the Thunder makes sense. I don't want to be boring and say the 1 seeds, but the Celtics are a 2 seed, and that's I don't know, they're scary.
Well, the one thing that I think many people are speculating, I guess, or critical of, is the youth with the OKC team. Being their strength, but also being their kryptonite as well. And I think it it won't happen until later. So like I don't know if it's gonna like it would be like conference championship series or championship series where like the youth comes in and really bites them, you know, because and especially if they're playing like if they're playing a Boston team, they're kind of it's interesting because like the same formula that that Boston has had for the past, I mean, 8 years, you know, drafting guys, building guys up, getting role players, getting guys making sure the guys off the bench develop, getting more bringing more draft guys in, like developing. Like that's been I feel like Boston has laid a really, really good foundation. And it's almost like I remember like growing up and kind of watching the Spurs play. And it was kind of that same feel of you had your star, right? You had Tim Duncan, you had Tony Parker, you had Ginobili would come off the bench and like he would be a really solid, like he could run the second unit, he could score, like he was a pain in the you know what to deal with. And then you also had like Kawhi come in and draft a good player from him, and you had
Finals MVP.
You had what's his name? Stack. He has the podcast. My goodness. I'm blanking on his name. Anyways, you just had really good really good role players. Robert Horry, like you had all these good role players during that time. That was a while ago, of course, but you had like a good model. And then I feel like Boston comes in and they kind of replicate that. You bring in the star, right? You draft the star, Jason Tatum. You bring in Kyrie, that doesn't work, right? And then you kind of build Jaylen Brown, or Jaylen Brown develops into who he's supposed to be. You bring in Derek White. You bring in, at the time, who they have, what's his face? They brought in Pritchard,
Peyton Pritchard,
I believe.
Yeah,
Pritchard, and then you had you bring in Drew Holiday, Porzingis, I believe.
Porzingis.
Yeah, so you just brought in a lot of guys to play roles, not to like lift the team. And I think there's like two different philosophies. And I think the Nuggets kind of have that same. Has had that and have success there of like building structures, like teams, like building a team, not a first five to throw out there. Because I think like that's what the Lakers ran into. Like you have like a solid five. You have LeBron, you have Luka, you have Rui Hachimura, you have Austin Reeves, and then you don't really have a center. You kind of bounce around from play small ball, throwing Jared Vanderbilt. You play big ball, throwing Jackson Hayes, and they decided the last game not to play Jackson Hayes and kind of cost them because Rudy Gobert had like 27 in the paint. But you have that same like philosophy, but it's like distorted because you're building your five instead of building your team, and obviously cap space goes into that as well. But it'll be interesting. I think the East might take it this year. I could see Boston repeating.
Yeah, that's exactly what me and Harris talked about earlier this week. We figured West was kind of a toss-up of who's going to make it. But East, he said we kind of talked about Cavs, obviously. One seed looking good, but I don't know. I don't count out the Celtics. I think they got a lot of momentum going into this next series against the Knicks. So yeah.
Yeah, then it's like it's like you don't flinch either. Like you've been there. And it's not. I don't think they're been there like we're complacent now. I think it's like we've been there, and like when the team throws the first punch, or like we lose a game, and it's like 2-2, or it's 1-1, or it's 1-2, and we're down. Like you don't flinch. Like it's not like a freak out scenario. And I think like that's the problem that OKC would run into is, are you going to flinch when someone hits you in the mouth, and then it's like, how are you gonna respond to that? But I think Boston has been battle tested, and you still have a lot of the core guys there. I think is Al Horford still there? I believe. I want to say Al Horford's still there. Like he's been there for the last like 10 years.
That's a guy that turned up in the finals last year too.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, he's still a Celtic.
You just have all these guys who are real. I would say the term for it is battle tested. They're battle tested, and not only for like NBA, but like playoffs. And I'm sure there's a real difference.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and take our first break here of What's Brewing. Don't go anywhere. More What's Brewing here on 93.7 Ticket on the other side.
Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th through Saturday, May 17th. See the greatest dirt late model stars in the country compete for $10,000 to win on both Thursday and Friday, and an enormous $50,000 to win 75-lap main event on Saturday. The High Bank Heist, May 15th through May 17th at Eagle Raceway. For more info, visit eagleraceway.com. Let's go Lucas Oil Late Model Racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Are you buying a home? Westgate Bank understands that you need to make important decisions during your home buying journey. Our local lenders in Lincoln and Omaha make themselves available so you can get the information you need to know. Use our mobile mortgage app to manage your transaction from pre-qualification to closing, no matter where you are. Get the service and convenience you want from a local community bank where our interest is you. Learn more and visit us online at westgate.bank. Westgate Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
When you're outdoors beneath Nebraska skies, adventure comes in all sizes. From quick escapes and long weekends to true off-the-grid retreats. Paddle, hike, camp, explore. Whether you have a few hours or a few days, we'll guide you to a state park or recreation area that's a perfect fit. Start your next adventure today at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
National Electrical Safety Month is held every May to raise awareness about the importance of staying safe around electricity. Visit les.com/safety for safety tips on power lines, tree trimming, storms, and so much more.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk about trading up. Not what you're thinking. You could never trade her in, but you can trade up her stone if you like. Signify the growth of your love, the challenges you have overcome, or any part of your love journey by trading up her diamond. Whether it's been 5 years, 25 years, or 50. Say it with a bling. Big love, big bling. We got you. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Make your move fun and easy with the help of Movers and Shakers. Movers and Shakers is homegrown, female-led, and ready to help make your transition to a new space as seamless as possible. They excel at residential and commercial moving jobs, as well as offer home cleanouts and junk removal services. Moving into a new place is stressful enough, so let Movers and Shakers ease the transition. Give them a call today at 712-899-6265 or book your move online at www.moversandShakersNE.com today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe. Back to What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, we're back with What's Brewing here on 93.7 The Ticket. Kind of talking a little bit of NBA on the first segment here on a nice, beautiful Saturday here in Lincoln.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listening to What's Brewing on 93.7 The Ticket.
Oh.
Man, so I have a quick story, kind of like an update, but a story as well. Before we get into next topic, I want to talk. We didn't talk NFL draft at all, so I just want to
there we go.
hit some stuff, for the weekend, of course. But this past weekend, I was in Austin, Texas, and I got invited to a conference, and it was an integrative cancer conference. So, and I know cancer is a super touchy subject for a lot of people. I mean, I've had multiple people in my family have it. So it was so interesting, though. And the thing I wanted to talk about was that, so integrative cancer, that's like you have they had MDs there, they had medical doctors there, they had, people who, prescribed to Western, and then they had more of like Eastern medicine, and there was like a merge between the two, right? Like trying to find the sweet spot, not just neglecting all the West, and not neglecting the East. So like trying to find a sweet spot and all that good stuff. And it was just, I would say it was awesome to be a part of it, because people were coming to the table and sharing their stories, right? And contributing to the whole, or like contributing to the collective. So there was people who healed it themselves naturally. And there's people who went the Western route and healed it, right? And I guess it was like the underlying principle was that there's not just one way to, what they say, to skin a something, to skin a cat, or that sounds terrible, but there's not just one way. But it was heavy as well, like, to be transparent, like you're communicating with people, and you can kind of tell, like, there's a lack of vibrancy in the face, and there's maybe like there's just I don't know, like, no, I'm get weird, but like there's like an energy you could feel, and like, then later in the conversation they're telling you like, yeah, I have stage 4 cancer, stage 3, like all this stuff. And it was like heavy, because like you could only, I was just thinking about, like, you can only imagine what's racing through their head, like, like just that whole deal. So I guess I just was sharing that to I don't know how that's encouraging, but there's people who did it, who healed from, I mean, some really awful things, man.
Yeah.
And it ended up being like the greatest blessing to them. And so like it's so interesting, and I don't want to trigger anyone, but when people were talking about their stories, if they were talking about it like they were talking about it like it was a gift. And it was like, what the heck? Like, people were like, yeah, it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I'm like, wait, what? And so I think I look at it like, the takeaway I had from it was like, okay, what if the worst thing that happens to you is your biggest blessing? Yes. And then also, like, kind of like like speaking to myself, like Chance, like the things, like the things you make up in your head that, you know, you wish you were this, or like little trials, little obstacles. Like, it's really, in the grand scheme of things, hindsight, and you zoom out and really, like, you compare, it's really nothing. And like, I kind of walked away with it, not in like this arrogant thing, like, oh, I'm this, but it was also just like this thing of just like, wow, like, there's a lot to be grateful for, you know, and a lot to be encouraging to others. Cause now when I go throughout the street, I'm not like, you know, this person's probably sick, but I am like, what is this person dealing with? You know,
Yeah.
like, what is this? And I'm not going to say I've never done that before, but I have a more heightened sense of it now, just coming away from it. Like, okay, like, you know, in this culture, when we say like, how are you doing to someone, we don't really mean it. And that's fine, I think. Cause if I was to be like, you know, like walking down the street, like, hey, how you doing? And this person tells me their whole life story. Like, I think small talk is necessary sometimes. I mean, some people might disagree, but no, I just thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
It was heavy, but I figured I'd share that, man, because I think that could help someone. I don't know in what capacity, but I think it could help someone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, like, that topic is specifically like cancer. It's just one of those things that impact so many people, but sometimes you might not even realize how many people it really impacts.
Right.
So, yeah, that's awesome.
And you don't know. Yeah, you don't. And I guess cancer is just like a subject, right? But you can really replace it with anything. Like, you really don't know when that thing in your life is going to happen, and it's going to actually like shape your whole existence.
Yeah.
And it's like, really, like, part of the reason why you came here is to like go through this and come out of it a new person and be able to help a bunch of people. Like, my mom, she healed her own cancer 12 years ago, almost 12 years ago. She went through this whole thing of studying and, you know, and doing the holistic side of things. And, you know, it's not like she's anti-medicine, but it was just like, she just couldn't get in for surgery. So she had to find another way. And I always talk to her about it, right? And she's like, yeah, like, this is, I'm able to help so many people, because she has clients, and she has product lines that helps people dealing with that stuff. But it's like, it was the greatest thing that happened to her. And I think that's the point. That's the point, I think, when like you've healed from it. And I think that's the goal, man, to be able to look back on life and not like laugh about it, but have like reverence for the situation, and then also like be super thankful on the way you chose to go through it, right? Because there's always an option. I think there's a biblical verse that says, I place before you blessing and curse, and like, I let you decide, right? And so I think the idea there is that we can either have a good positive attitude and that will turn into a blessing for us, or we can, you know, be negative about it. And I'm sure everybody going through that situation with the C word has every right to, you know, feel negatively about it. So I'm not saying specifically about that, but I just thought it was super interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then next topic, man. NFL draft.
Oh yeah.
Had two guys from Nebraska get picked. It was awesome. I know them pretty well. I mean, I feel like I know them pretty well. So it's awesome to like see their like progression and journey. I think it's big for Husker Nation. I think it's even bigger for Coach Rule and what they have going on culture wise. Because the more guys you get in the league, man, I said this a couple weeks ago, man, the more guys you get in the league from a specific culture, it's just going to reflect good and it's just going to add more value. And then you get a big recruit. I mean, I think it was on Thursday, you get a big recruit from like top 8. Yeah, like top 7, top 8 player in his class. Front page of ESPN. So it's like guys are believing in the guys are believing in the possibilities, potential, but also I believe if you're getting that big of recruits, you're believing of what's already there, right? So in some sense, I think you can say, Jackson, that Nebraska has proved just enough to get some big time recruits. So like they've already done things in the past 2 years, you know. So I think that's a good thing. And you know, if it's 6-6 or 7, well, technically it's what they went 7-6 with the bowl game.
Yeah.
If that's kind of your launch pad, meaning like that's where you're starting from, and you have a way, you're leaving room for growth. It's not so it'd be interesting. It'd be a frustrating story for Husker Nation if Nebraska was a 10-win team and we're not getting like 5 stars, 5-star, 5-star.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it would be really frustrating.
Yeah. So now that you're like a 6-6 and 7-6, and all of a sudden you're bringing in 5 stars, you're bringing in a bunch of 4 stars, like real good 4 stars. Because I think nowadays it's like the star rankings is just ridiculous. But the 4 stars, even when I was playing, like the 4 stars, you get like if you get like a decent SEC offer, you're a 4-star. Because once you get one SEC
Good way
offer,
to look at it.
Yeah, well, once you get like say Jackson, you're coming out of you're a junior in high school, right? And LSU offers you, right? Let's say you're a boot baby. You're from Louisiana. You know, LSU offers you. Well, Ole Miss might offer you now. Bama might offer you now.
Puts you on the radar.
You're just gonna get a collective of the SEC teams, and SEC is on you. Then some ACC and then Big Ten. So it's just like a domino effect. And so I think we just throw out that 4-star. Because you go from 3 to 4 based on, I would say, just how many offers, and it's just ridiculous. But I think the more Nebraska can get, some more wins on the columns, you're going to get these 5 stars. You're going to get, the Trey Palmers, the Elijah Pritchett's, the Dylan Raiolas, and the guys that we've lost in the past, like in the past year. I believe there was a tackle last year we lost like Tennessee or something, but like the guys where like they're on the fringe, like they're not going to be on the fringe anymore because there's going to be more selling points for Nebraska in that win-loss column.
That's like my favorite example of a player that left and did good is Wan'Dale Robinson. You saw what he did. He went back home to Kentucky, and then all of a sudden he had a great season. He became a 2nd-round pick. In my opinion, that still looks good on Nebraska.
Yeah, he was one of those where, that was probably one of the harsher ones in the past 5-6 years.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk surrounding that, and. There's always the claiming of a player, especially when they transfer. I think he ended up playing one more year at Kentucky than he did at Nebraska. I think. But yeah, that was always interesting. But in my opinion, it's like it always looks good, and you never saw any hate from him. It was just from people talking online. So what does it really matter then at the end of the day? So, but
it's a tough one. It's a tough one. So. I think we're going to see that's an interesting thing. So I think within the next, this year, next year, and the year after that, because we're going to see probably that same storyline repeat because retention is down.
Oh yeah.
The turnover is so high with players, And so, I mean, you're going to see, I mean, we just had James Williams and Stephen Thompson go to Florida State, and Princewell Umanella to, or I just butchered his last name, sorry. He will to,
It's a tough one.
Tough one. But he's at Ole Miss, and we lost a few other on the D line to some big places, right? And so
yeah, I mean, Jamari Butler, LSU,
Makai Bayer to UNC, right? Yep. And Jamari Butler to LSU.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of. I think that's pretty much it. But like, let's say Jamari gets drafted, you know, or like Princewell's a good one because he's a young kid and there's a lot of
that's like the Wandale example. He played 2 years here and entered the portal going into his junior season.
Yeah, and then like you with the Princewell, it's like you play him. You first year All-American, freshman All-American, second year like trying to I think you're really trying to find a spot for him, and I think you know him and MJ Sherman splitting time, it was kind of like rough there. And then you have let's say he goes to Ole Miss, balls out this year, balls out the next year, goes second round, like his brother went fourth round. What if he goes third round to, you know, plays in the league for X amount of years?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna look back on that story. So I think with the high turnover rate, we're gonna see like this never ending what ifs and like what could have been with players.
It's really interesting because it's like you see guys like Princewell who are like leaving right in the middle of their college career, going to a new school. And then you see guys like Jamari who have like a year left, and you saw guys like that did the same thing, like Adrian Martinez. So it's like they're taking the next step up, going to like a bigger school per se. I mean, you could argue that with Adrian, but Jamari Butler's taking the next step up, going to the SEC to get playing time. And all that does is just put more eyes on him. Obviously, he got the development through the Nebraska football team. He goes to LSU. It's tough to say that there's more eyes, but I probably say there's more eyes on like a primetime LSU SEC game than there is on just a Nebraska Big Ten game, unless we're playing some big time opponent. We're ranked, but maybe I'm wrong. But
no, yeah, I agree. I think from like a national perspective, I think you would, based on like the current state of Nebraska and the current state of LSU, I would say, and obviously I love Nebraska. I got love for them in the city, but it's just, it's just Nebraska, like nationally, is still running off of the respect from the 90s.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's like LSU too. And I mean, they litter the draft every year with draft picks. You see guys getting, and it doesn't matter how good they are. I mean, think about Jaden Daniels and that team with Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas. They didn't go to the college football playoff. They were not a top 5 team in the country. I saw them play in the Royal Quest Bowl, and they beat Wisconsin. Like they were like an 8-win, 9-win team that year. I don't even know. No, they were ranked, but they were they weren't some stellar team. But then Jaden Daniels, you know, goes the first round. Washington, super good. Malik Neighbors, first round. New York, super good. So it's just these teams that are just, they have the system and the national recognition of just pumping out pro players into the league.
And it's big for bringing recruits there, man.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's one of the selling points Rule kind of talked about, was like, man, like if we can get, you know, guys like Ty Robinson and go fourth round to the Eagles, and him have some productive games, and then all of a sudden you get a profile on him, and, you know, scouts and coaches and GMs are raving about the way he practices and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, you know, scouts are like, wait, Nebraska kids practice hard, right? Because, you know, you have the tradition of, you know, the Eagles already had Nebraska guys. You had Nate Gary there for like 7-8 years. And then you had, you know, Cam Jurg there. You had Jack Stoll there. You had, and then of course, you know, you add in Ty there now. Like, so you have a good, and so that could happen with multiple teams. You have kind of the same scenario with Tampa Bay too. You got Levante David there, been there for so many years. And then Trey Palmer comes in, has a really productive year. And then, you know, Ben Stilley was even there for a few games.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
Before he got traded.
And they went and signed 2 Huskers out of undrafted free agency too. So.
Right, exactly. So it's like, they're these Husker kids, like they practice hard. They're whatever the positive stigma is behind it, like that's beautiful. That's what you want.
All right. Well, we're actually all over here, so we'll go ahead and throw it to break here. Come back, wrap things up on what's brewing here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a 4-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats, including Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Email Jake at theticketfm.com for more questions or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Early bird registration goes through April 20th and overall registration goes through May 30th.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? That feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios on O Street.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Billy Currington is back on tour. Friday, June 13th, Pinewood Bowl Theater at Lincoln's Pioneer Park. Live in concert. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grata Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grata offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grata Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
When you're outdoors beneath Nebraska skies, adventure comes in all sizes. From quick escapes and long weekends to true off-the-grid retreats. Paddle, hike, camp, explore. Whether you have a few hours or a few days, we'll guide you to a state park or recreation area that's a perfect fit. Start your next adventure today at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
All right, back with What's Brewing here on 93.7 The Ticket. Going to wrap things up real quick. Todd, you were coming up next. Talking a little bit of NFL draft, a little bit of NBA, a little bit of sports today. So, nice Saturday here in Lincoln.
Yes, sir. To switch it up. Only a couple minutes left. I had like this interesting conversation with I would say like a mentor of mine, and we were just we were chopping it up, and there
Chancellor?
in athletic.
Oh, there we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Like just like in athletics, like you set goals and you do this, and like there's always like, and you can measure your progress towards the goal, right? So if the goal is to bench in the off season, I want to bench 315 pounds. Like we have metrics towards that, right? It's pretty obvious that you're on track or you're on par or like what you need to do today. And, you can do that with getting faster. You can do that with your routes. You can do that with your blocking. You can do it with your hand placement. Like there's all metrics. You can see it. Like it's super obvious. And I think it kind of sets you up for like a weird transition once you get out of sports, because now that like the metric almost hurts you in a way when you get into like, whether it's like business or life, whatever it is. From what I've noticed and what I've heard and learned is like, sometimes it's like the thing that will like help you accomplish your goal, where it used to be, going and, running and doing this, like it might just be like going on a walk. Like it might literally just be like going and like sitting and like writing in a journal, or if people are into like meditating or just sitting in silence, or like instead of like, because I think you take that same, because if you take that same like metric thing to like the next thing, and then I think that's necessary sometimes, but I guess where I struggle is like doing it too much. But because like what if it's like you take that same thing and it's like, oh, I have to do like 100 emails today, or I have to do I don't know if you're like sales, like 100 cold calls or this and this, and like what if that's not always the best thing for you? So I guess it's interesting, and I think it takes a lot of like self-reflection to find out what that thing is for you. And I think it takes like curiosity too, because like a lot of people don't even want to answer that question, and they've never asked it, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't really care. I just do this, and I just do this, whatever. But I think there's people out there. I know that there's people out there that want to become the best version of themselves, and they're asking deeper questions on how they can become it. And I think it starts with like this introspective look on where you're at, and all the things that got you here, and all the things that need to be shedded, and all the things that need to be added. So I don't know if that helps anyone. It's kind of on that same like cancer topic. Like it's so specific, but there's principles within there that I think can help someone. It definitely helped me, and I definitely it's like, man, like, can you just relax?
Yeah.
It's so strange. It's like, what if just doing nothing for a whole day, and like just caring about yourself, treating yourself, being kinder for yourself today, can actually get you to your goals faster than all these outputs, into, or all these inputs into this like, I don't know. And obviously that's a lot easier if you're working for yourself or working for somebody. The conversation changes. So I don't know. Interesting conversation. If it's for someone, receive it. If it's not for you, take it. Or don't take it. My bad.
Don't take it. All right. That's going to wrap things up here for What's Brewing here on 93.7 The Ticket. Thanks to Chancellor for calling in today for today's show here on another Saturday. We'll do it again next week, but don't go anywhere. Todd Ewer, Power Hour, up next.